What's going on, guys? My name's Robby Rowland. If you're coming to this video having no idea who I am or haven't seen any of my stuff, you're welcome. I'm doing a different setup. I got like 1,900 cables running around, different aux cords, screen recording phones, got a GoPro over there, and got a camera there. And how's my beard look? I've been watching a lot of YouTube tutorial videos lately because I just got a new Mac. And for some reason I'm like, I'm going to switch it up today. I'm going to do one of those cool YouTube videos where I give a review on some products, but it's going to tie into, I get asked all the time about certain products. I don't know which camera to look at, just because I'm an absolute data nerd. I love tracking, like, for myself. For those of you guys who do not know anything about me, I am a professional baseball player / human optimization-er, if you will. So with that being said, I use a lot of like data tracking devices, fitness trackers, sleep trackers. I have the Apple Watch, I have the Oura ring, I have the Whoop, and on my ankle, let's see if we can get this up. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. And on my ankle, I have my Fitbit. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to give like my review / pros and cons. There's really no like benefit, I guess, for me to do a video like this, other than maybe I can get some affiliate cash if you guys like purchase, who am I sponsored by? Whoop. If you guys purchase a Whoop using like my discount code or affiliate link or something, check out the description for that. Used to be sponsored. Cool story about Oura. I was like the first like athlete to partner with them, and then they got really big time, and they were like, well, hey, you're not big time, so we'll smell you. I'm just kidding. I love Oura. Oura's probably, I guess Fitbit would be the longest running device that I've had. And then the Apple Watch I got recently, I would say, I think it was July of 2020. The Whoop I just got. The Whoop, I wanted to wait. I've had it for about 2 weeks now, so I have a pretty good idea. So what we're going to be doing in this video, sorry, that was a long introduction. Like I said, pros, cons, my personal take on all of these things. I have a little list here of things that I just kind of jotted down. You can also head to my website under therobbyroshow.com/trackers. That will give you, like, I'm going to put a whole like website page together because, like I mentioned, I get asked a lot about like Oura and Apple Watch and sleep trackers and all these things. So I'm just going to put a whole page together and write up like all my pros and cons, because I'm sure I'm going to forget some things within this video. So we'll dive right into it. Let's go with first. Actually, do we need to talk about the charging station? Let's see if I can show you guys like the charging station. I guess I can do it with the GoPro. So before we show you that, I'll just say my favorite charging is like the Oura. For me, the ring is just so simplistic. Although the Whoop, I will say, is like a really simplistic charging device too. The Apple Watch is the magnetic thing. I don't love all too much. And the Fitbit that I use, I forgot to say it was an Fitbit Ionic. That's the worst charging thing for me. So I'm going to grab the GoPro, show you that. So this is Fitbit. This is Apple Watch. This is the Oura. And this is the Whoop. Okay. So, whoa, see what I mentioned about I got freaking cords going everywhere? So I'm trying to all put this video through one mic. It's not easy, guys. Excuse me. So like I mentioned, The Fitbit for me is the most difficult because sometimes it wants to charge, sometimes it doesn't charge. There's been plenty of occasions where I'd plug it in and it just wouldn't show up at all, and I thought that I needed to get a new Fitbit. The Whoop, like I said, is very easy. You just slide it on in there. I was doing it wrong for a long period of time. I was putting it on the opposite side and it wasn't charging. I was frustrated, but then I realized you got to turn it upside down and it fits in there nicely. For some reason, I've had complications with the Apple Watch as well. Sometimes it charges, sometimes it doesn't. But what are you going to do? So that's the charging station. Pretty simplistic. I know there's plenty of Fitbits out there, but like I said, I have the Ionic, and it's sometimes a little difficult because I think it is like a magnetic thing, right? So, okay. So since we are on screen record, let's dive in. We'll talk about these in order of the Whoop, Oura, Apple Watch, Fitbit, and then obviously we'll be talking about like fitness tracking and sleep tracking, and so on and so forth. So with the Whoop, a couple benefits or a couple things that I have here jotted down as we open up the app is this is the newest device for me. There's probably things within this that I am not aware of that it does, and there's things that I'm not familiar with. And you got to understand, like with anything that's new, just because it's new doesn't mean it's like bad, right? Like the familiarity, that's a hard word to say if you're saying it fast, is always something that comes about the more that you use it. So I will say some of this stuff when I compare it like to Whoop is going to be a little bit skewed. I'll be honest with that. So with what I've noticed about Whoop, I really like these things to do with the battery. The battery is long lasting. The app interface itself is a lot. There's like a lot to like digest within the app. Like these are the activities here. It gives you kind of the overview, and then it'll give you the strain, and then recovery, and then sleep, and then with along each little section there, you can also scroll down, and there's a lot. Like you can scroll down to every section on strain, recovery. It gives you all of your stuff. It gives you a percentage on recovery too. So if you're somebody that doesn't like know how to kind of include heart rate variability, resting heart rate, respiratory rate, and all that stuff, it does a really good job of just saying, okay, like given all this data, this is the percentage that we're going to give you as far as your elevated recovery. So as you can see, it says right here, your resting heart rate of 39 beats per minute is 15% lower than your recent average. Your body is fully recovered and primed to take on strain. So like just that, like I wrote down here, it gives you really good guidance. So whether you be advanced with your understanding of all your data metrics or a beginner, like it does a really good job of simplification. And then sleep performance, it gives you like, I really like how it gives you like, hey, sleep needed. Although I will say, I think it was 2 days ago. Let's see, we can go back. Yeah, so on Friday, March 12th, it said I needed 3 hours and 28 minutes of sleep. And I don't know why. I don't know why that was. But all in all, I think it's a really good idea to give like a sleep needed thing. But I will say, just knowing what I know about my body is like, I'm always going to, no matter what, shoot for like 8 to 10. That's just where I'm at. And I like how you can like touch things. Like I said, with this recovery, you can touch it and it'll give you those metrics itself. I slept 9 hours, 14 minutes. This was my heart rate variability. This is my resting heart rate. And along with the strain, it'll give you like, hey, average heart rate, max heart rate, calories burned. Like that stuff is really intuitive. And there's a lot. I will, also with this is the community thing. I think the community where you can like get your teams, you can get into teams and you can compete against like your friends and colleagues and stuff, and you can create a team, and I think that is freaking awesome. Like that part is like, oh, I'm gonna grind today because I gotta show up Steve from work. You know what I mean? Like that's dope. And then the coaching thing, like this is one of those things where in regards to the coaching, I would say it's more of like a basic, right? Like a basic kind of piece to all of this that beginners might need in terms of, we live in 2021, so I'm not going to sugarcoat this. A lot of individuals need to be, they need their handheld with things in terms of like their process of, optimal performance, right? And that's not to dog on anyone. It's just the kind of the world we live in. So to have a coaching aspect is fantastic. Also, the camera thing is so cool. Like, this part is so dope to me because you can start, you can give an overview, you can do like recovery, give you all these things, you can put a picture behind it, like that's awesome. And then also you can do this live thing. This live thing is fantastic because you can be like in performance, you can be recording a workout and you can record yourself with video, and it gives you all of this stuff. Like, that's such a good idea from Whoop. Right? Like, as far as their marketing goes. All right. So I will say with Whoop, some negatives. I have to manually input a lot of these sessions. I don't think it's a discredit to them. It's just like credit my ice bath and my sauna. Those are things that I like to log as workouts, just because I like to see what my heart's doing and so on and so forth. Whatever, I have to go back and log that. Now, that's something on my Apple Watch that I'll hit. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then for some reason, there's a couple occasions with Whoop that'll log a nap, like in the middle of the day when I'm sitting at the desk. Like the other day, it logged, and this actually, now that I think of it, is probably why it gave me only 3 hours and 28 minutes of sleep needed one day, because I think it logged a 4-hour nap when I was grinding at the desk. But another negative for me is the subscription thing. It's great marketing. It's a great business strategy, but I prefer a product where I can buy it and I have it and I don't need to like do anything with it. Like, it's mine, and like now we're rocking, right? With Whoop, you have to do a subscription. I did the 18-month thing, so I bought it for like $250 or whatever. But they do give you a free like tracker and band. So that part, pretty good business strategy there. Another negative for me is it doesn't integrate with Apple Health. I like to integrate everything with Apple Health because I can always go back. To like my health app, and it'll have everything there for me from every single one of my trackers. Like, that part's pretty dope. Okay, moving on to Oura. Let's go here. This, unlike Whoop, is you buy the Oura. I believe this is still the case. You buy the Oura and it's yours. You don't have to do a subscription. Oura, the battery is the longest lasting out of all of them. I can go probably up to 4 to 5 days without even charging it. The simplicity of not only the wearability, if that's a word, but like, I can put this on my middle finger on my left, my index finger on my left, my index finger on my right, and my middle finger on my right. Obviously it's a little bit easier than I think having to take up wrist space or whatever. And me being a baseball player, and more specifically a pitcher, it's awesome because I can wear it in games, right? And when you wear like wrist devices, you get yelled at. And the app itself is fantastic. Like, I think Oura for me is like my gold standard for like how I measure up all my other trackers as far as like the sleep goes. Like, I love this app interface. You can just see like it just is super simplistic. Resting heart rate variability. This is your readiness score. Today I crushed it. 2 crowns. Let's ride. Resting heart rate variability, body temperature, and then you can go into the sleep. Gives you the sleep metrics, REM, deep, latency, timing, efficiency, and it gives you another in-depth look at your resting heart rate. I will say, with the fitness side of it, like the activity, that's always going to be something that I don't put a lot of emphasis on with the Oura. I just think, as far as like the fitness side of it, it's, I use other trackers for that. But I also like that it does integrate with Apple Health. So like, things that I log workouts with on my watch will come up here under activities. Like, that part for me is dope because I can do a preparation and recovery. That's my sauna and ice tank time, and it can give me data from that, which is great. And then it'll give you like a bedtime. I don't know why it thinks that I'm 98 years old, giving me a bedtime between 6:45 and 8:15. But hey, what are you going to do? And then it gives you insights. the insight mode on Oura is so cool, man. Like after every week, it'll give you like your 7-day thing. And there's a lot to like the app, and it's all, for me, it's very simplistic. And I think just the wearability of it, what you're looking for. If you're looking specifically for like a sleep tracker, Whoop is great. But I would say Oura for sleep specifically is like the gold standard, just because you're wearing it on like your finger, which I would just say is a little bit easier, because there's been times where I've been like, I fall asleep at night and I move a lot, and somehow, some way, like my Fitbit will come off, or my Oura will come off, or not Oura, my Whoop will come off, or slide over and not detect sleep. That's happened on a couple occasions. So I will say, with a negative with Oura, it's a ring. So if you like go to wash your hands, doing the dishes or something like that, it's easily like misplaced or lost. Like I got my mom one for Christmas, and I think she's lost it twice, but she's found it. But and another one, I could pitch with it. Like that's like my biggest pro is, I can pitch with it, I can play sports with it, and it doesn't get in the way, and it's not bulky and whatever. And like I said, the battery life is fantastic. So moving on to Apple Watch. So Apple Watch, obviously, out of all of this, is probably going to be the most expensive, but it also does the most, right? Like it's a phone on your wrist. I will say I was super anti Apple Watch for the longest time. I ended up just getting one just because I was like, oh, I wonder, like, does it do anything different than all these other things? Worst battery. You got to charge it every day just because it does everything. You have to log workouts manually. Like that's another frustrating piece to it too. If you're going back at the end of the day and you're looking at like what your activity was, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to log this workout, then it'll say like you didn't do anything, you sat on the couch all day. That's something that I've personally struggled with. Again, this could vary for everyone, but I use the Zones app, which is a free app, bottom left hand corner of my watch face, and it's an easily like one button click, another button click, and now you're logging a workout. So for me, that's not a huge deal. And like I said, it integrates with Apple Health. Obviously, it's an Apple product, so it's nice in that regard. And it gives you your rings. So like looking over at this screen record, this is the activity thing. So very intuitive here with the app. And you can see that it integrates with the Apple Health. So all this stuff goes into Apple, including the Fitbit app that I use will actually integrate with Apple Health. We'll talk about that in a bit. Gives you a summary, and it gives you to Apple Fitness Plus, which I'm probably pretty sure you got to pay for it. So that's cool. You can also share activities. So like mentioned with the competitive thing, that's fantastic. Couple apps that I use within it are Heart Watch. I like Heart Watch. That gives me a pretty good look at a deep dive into some data for my heart. Auto Sleep and Zones. I mentioned Zones. Zones is what I use to like work out, just because I think the app itself on the watch is a little bit better than like using just the regular fitness one. I think I just like seeing it gives you like your heart rate at the time, and then you can scroll, like swipe over one page, and it'll give you like your music, which is, I just think, more simplistic. As you can see, there's a trend here. I'm looking more towards simplistic, right? So that's Zones. This is the activity. Let's go to Auto Sleep. So Auto Sleep is decent. I'll be honest, I don't use Auto Sleep a whole lot, but it gives me a little notification every morning after I wake up, and it's pretty spot on with the Oura. But for some reason today, my heart rate variability via my Apple Watch is way down. So as you can see here, it's giving me a pretty low readiness score. But as far as my time of sleep, it gives you a sleep credit or a sleep debt, depending on how you've been sleeping the last few days. I think that's pretty cool. You see it right there, Sleep Bank. That's so 9 hours and 14 minutes. And the tough part about all of these is they all differ from one another. Like some are pretty close. I will say the Auto Sleep app here using my Apple Watch is probably the closest to Oura. If we went back to like Whoop and looked at the sleep, that's another downfall for me just in these past probably like 2 weeks, is the sleep data is tough for me. There it is with Whoop. It's been very off, in my opinion, especially with my heart rate. But oh well. Who knows? Maybe Whoop's right, and Oura's, like who are really, who am I to say one's right and one's wrong? Like, I don't frickin' know. Another thing with Apple Watch, like, as I mentioned, you have to log, like, you have to manually log activities. So if I were to be in a bullpen in a game, I would have to, like, manually log that workout and then go out and pitch. Like, the auto detection of a workout is not great. So, like, there's been times where I've been in the bullpen and it's on my ankle, and I haven't been able to, like, log the workout, and I go out and pitch, and it's like, oh, I didn't even pitch. Because, again, I'm a data nerd. I like to go back and look at, like, my data for, my health throughout that time. And maybe there's an occasion where I don't have the time to, like, roll down my long socks and hit the record thing, right? So there's that. Like I said, it's the most expensive out of all of these, but it does a lot. There's a lot to it. It's a phone, okay? No subscription and free apps, all right? Unless you get, like, the Apple Watch with data already in it via a cell service or something. Like I said, I use Heart Watch, I use Zones, and I use Auto Sleep. I also use Plyo. That's another sleep app. What am I kidding? I don't use it. I never even look at it. Fitbit. Everyone knows Fitbit. I've had a Fitbit since, like, 2012. I haven't had this particular Fitbit. I got a new band for it so I can put it around my ankle. Let's see. Fitbit for me. Sometimes it charges, sometimes it doesn't. I will say, man, like, say what you want about Fitbit. A lot of people dog on it, but, like, it's been solid for me. It's been pretty solid. The app interface is updated. It's dope. There's a lot to it. I also have a Fitbit scale, so I think that's dope with how it tracks your. Why is my heart rate at 82 right now? I think they're constantly making improvements to it. It's very intuitive it's intuitive, but it's also, like, super simplistic and basic, right? So the trend of this whole video, it really does come down to, like, what are you looking for, right? Like, what are your needs? What do you want, right? What do you put as the most important piece to tracking for you? Is it performance based? Is it like, I want to sleep better? Are you just like numbers? What is it? So with Fitbit, let's see, what do I have? Auto detect workouts is the best out of all of them. I will say, again, just to reiterate, I'm 2 weeks into Whoop, so maybe Whoop is going through, like, a learning curve with my body, and maybe it'll just get better at auto detection. But right now, like Fitbit with the auto detection, I'm shaking my leg right now, and it's giving me some steps. So there's a hack for you guys. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Fitbit. Maybe I did help market that. So if you're sitting at your desk, just be sure to shake your leg and put it on your ankle. And that's another cool piece to the Fitbit is, like, I can wear it on my ankle. And the Whoop too. I guess I can wear all these on my ankle, right? Whoop also comes with they have an option to get a bigger band, and you can wear it on your bicep. A lot of my teammates did that, which is cool. So what do I have for Fitbit? Really good battery life, way better than the Apple Watch. Roughly similar battery life to the Whoop. I would say up to 3 days. 3 days on a single charge. Auto detect workouts, fantastic. The sleep tracker for me with the Fitbit it's just not it. Yeah, again, I kind of put the Whoop at the gold standard. I kind of compare everything with the Whoop. Or sorry, not the Whoop. Gosh, I keep mixing those words up. Compare everything with the Oura. And if we're going to relate to the Oura, like my mom, for instance, every morning she goes through her data. She loves numbers too. And, like, her Fitbit is always pretty different than the Oura. Or the Oura is just different from the Fitbit, right? I would say Fitbit is more so a fitness tracker than it is a sleep tracker, right? Like, they have the option to track your sleep, and they do it. Like, you can see within this app, right? Like, it's there, but I would say it's more designed. Maybe the newer ones aren't, but the one I have is probably more designed towards fitness. So So let's just compare. This is sleep. Let's compare to everything. All right. This is Fitbit sleep. 2 hours 5 a REM, hour 42 a deep. All right. Let's go to Whoop. Hour 51 a deep, hour 47 a REM. 151. So that's pretty good. Okay. Let's go to Auto Sleep Deep. 2 hours and 44 on the Apple Watch. They don't give you a REM on that. So there's the Apple Watch, and then the Oura Sleep, 2 hours 26 a deep, hour 38 a REM. Total sleep 8:30. So that part, take it for what it's worth, right? Like, that's me. App interface, fantastic. No subscription, but they do have like options. Like my mom signed up for some thing you got to pay for. I will say, as I mentioned, the scale piece to it is cool too. I don't use the scale every day, as you can see, but the scale is cool, how it integrates to the app. Yeah. What else? Oh, yeah, integrate with Apple Health. I also have this app. I paid for this. It's Fitbit to Apple something. What is it called? Fitbit to Apple Health. Oh, there you go. And you can select the fields to sync. Boom, sync all of them. Sync now. It syncs it all up, syncs entire history, and then you can launch the health app. And now everything, right, from the Fitbit is also going into here. So you can see that one specifically is from, the Fitbit. So that's cool. And that's what is frustrating about the Whoop is there's no integration. Maybe there's another app. I haven't even looked, to be honest. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, I will include even more stuff on therobbyrowshow.com/trackers. You can also, if you want to get one of these things, I guess you can use like my affiliate link. Maybe just like throw a bone my way, since I took an hour, maybe 2 hours out of my day to do this, since there's no reason I should. But hey, all right. So that's why am I open up apps? Did it screen record? Jeez, I hope so. Dude, what? It didn't screen record? Whoa. It didn't screen record. Pets' heads are falling off.